What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Bob Ross for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, this one was mad. Ain't gonna lie. We got Willy, the bare knuckle Hutchinson, aka Billy Joe Sausage's cousin or second cousin, one of them ones. They certainly got some sort of family line there. There's no doubt about that. They both can't punch for toffee. Let's call it a spade here. Billy can't. I mean, Willy, both can't punch, in my opinion. Anywho, we've got the leaked face-to-face now. And this was probably the most entertaining of them all. And we're going to get into alleged sparring details. We're going to watch most of it, if I'm honest. It's going to be at least 5 minutes worth because it's all worth watching. Anyway, here we go.
Hate talking about sparring and what happened, but someone would shout at me if I didn't say it. What happened when you sparred?
Well, in the last interview, he said I rang his coach and said he gave me a beating, toughest spar I've had in my life.
No.
What
he
did
was
you
on
say?
the phone to my coach,
And
whatever
said?
it may have been, whatever it was, and he said I caused the biggest nightmares of his life. You know what it is? Forget about even the phone call. I was there. I don't tell lies. I was there.
Wait, you're looking at me so you don't tell lies,
I'm not a
like I
liar.
care or like that means anything.
Well, it's the
What
truth.
does that mean?
I'm telling the honest truth. I was there, but forget about that. I was the one who sparred you, but sparring, I wasn't even going to bring all the sparring up until you started acting like a fool, what you are.
You're the fool, man.
Listen to me.
One
Until
thing you're not gonna do is get rude to me. You see me? I'm
No, but
calm and everything.
you're-
But one
you're-
thing you're
you're
not
a
gonna
fool.
do.
You're
One thing you're not
100%
gonna do is get.
So, first things first, let's address the sparring rumours. Oh, man. The thing is, I'll give Willy credit. I think he's an idiot. I'm going to put some bread up. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to put some bread up on Buatsi. Maybe I shouldn't, actually. I've always said that football fans should always put a little piece of bread on the opposing team. Then, if your team wins, you're buzzing from the win. If your team loses, though, you can go home with your tail between your legs thinking, well, at least I hit a gambling lick. Do you understand? So my heart, I want to back Buatsi for the culture's sake. Equally, though, I don't want to curse the dude. Yeah, so maybe it's better that I bet on Willy, and if Buatsi wins, great. And if Willy's got good odds. You put a tenner on Willy, you get about £23 profit back. Do you understand? So that's not a bad situation right there. I don't think he's going to win though, but I never do. That's the problem, you see. I never do think they're going to win. Like anyone who gambles. All my last losses, I never thought they was going to win. That's why I got bumped, right? So I don't see... Buatsi too big, too strong, man. Willy can't punch. Willy runs out of gas after 5-6 rounds. Anyway... On to the specific sparring allegations. I was about to say Willy's a clown, he talking too much. Equally though, to be fair to Willy, he didn't come out. The Craig Richards fight, he was supposed to lose that one. That's well documented. Right? He could have come out in that fight, which was supposed to be his first and only big fight, and made a whole bunch of sparring rumours up then. He didn't. So... I don't know. Is he making this up for Buatsi? Has he got a taste of the fame and thought, you know what, I'm just going to start making stories up? It's possible. But yeah, allegedly Willy was controversial in the Craig Richards fight. Listen, Willy told the truth. Yeah, Willy told the truth to Craig, and Craig and some of the culture got bent out of shape. Willy told him straight, I'ma punch the dreadlocks off your head, Craig. Yeah? He said, Craig, that 5-finger forehead you got and them loosey-goosey dreads you got, they're getting punched off. And I can't lie. At the time I thought, man, go get yours, Craig. You know what I'm saying? Put the culture on. Craig ain't do nothing, okay? The only thing Craig did, I saw Craig and Shane McGuigan, his trainer, after the fight on the floor trying to find where a few of Craig's dreads got punched to. That's the truth. That's what he did. All on the floor and shit. Like, what? Where the dreads? So, the sparring situation. We're not there, obviously, but I have to be honest. I thought Dubois... Remember when Dubois was coming up? He said he clipped AJ. We all assumed it was Cap. It turns out, I got a video coming later today, someone who was there tells the truth. And in fact, the guy who tells the truth is a Matchroom / Mandingo Room Lord Barry Hearns III individual, associated rather. He was with Matchroom his whole career, so if anything, he'd just stay quiet. Why would he come out and tell the truth about Dubois clipping AJ? My point? There's some weight in the sparring stories, most of the time, right? Unless someone's just prolifically. I've never heard of it really. I've never heard of a prolific sparring warrior. People say Martin Bakole. Okay, he's probably quite prolific to be fair, but Usyk didn't say that Bakole was lying. He said Bakole likes to talk too much. He didn't say, Bakole, you're making stories up and you're lying. That never happened. That's one thing Usyk did not say. Not that he has to or whatever, but he didn't say it was a complete lie. It never happened. So I have to be honest, I tend to lean towards something along them lines happened. Now, whether Willy Hutchinson alleges that after the spar, Buatsi got on the blower and was saying to his trainer how good and how much Willy got in his ass. Yeah, he tore my ass up. That's what Willy alleges. Now, Buatsi's backtracking. And again, what I will say is, when you don't have opposition with someone, that does happen. We know this for a fact. How? When Tyson Fury was probably 10, 15 years ago and AJ was an amateur, AJ allegedly, in Tyson Fury's words, gave Tyson Fury the work and was touching him to his soft Benidorm body. And Tyson Fury was on the radio with Steve Bunt saying, yeah, that's a good amateur there. He was giving me the work. So two things can be true. Buatsi could have been like, what probably happened was, Willy Hutchinson's trainer rang Buatsi because Hutchinson was 20 at the time. Buatsi was somewhat relevant at the time. Obviously coming from the Olympics. I think he's bronze medalist or whatever he is. He's certainly an Olympian. And I don't know Willy Hutchinson's trainer, but I bet he's someone from the back arse of nowhere. He's not like a, I don't know. He's not like a Ben Diamato Davidson these days. So when you have lower level fighters and unknown trainers, they want recognition, or they want to hear from the guy who's at the Olympics. They want to hear his opinion. So what more likely happened in my opinion? Willy Hutchinson phoned Buatsi after the spar and asked him, how did my guy do? Now Buatsi being humble or whatever, yeah, he's the one to give me a good work, man, he's a top guy kind of thing. That's what I think happened. And obviously Hutchinson's trainer's gone back to Willy and said, yeah, Buatsi said you've given him the best work he ever had. It could be true though. Maybe Willy did give him the best work he could have. And listen, we've got a week left, people. 10 days left. And we're fixing to find out who was giving what work. People say sparring don't matter. It don't, but it does. It don't, but it does matter. It matters if Willy Hutchinson puts the beats on Buatsi, yeah, the spar mattered, right? That's what we know for a fact. If he doesn't, and we can discount the sparring. Anywho, they go back and forth now, and it's all top stuff to listen to.
Rude to me. Carl, I know we're doing an interview here and there's cameras and that, but one thing someone's not going to do is get rude to me, because then I'm going to stand up and it won't be an interview.
Yeah.
It will have to end. Like, I get, we're here in an interview settings and that.
He's a clown.
See, that's...
And what I'm trying...
Because you're talking, you can keep talking.
You see what I went with him? I went to shake his hand, trying to be no... I know him.
He said
you met me a couple of times. I don't care how many times I met
you.
you.
I'm not going to shake your hands for me.
He's not like that.
I don't need to shake your hands. We're fighting. I've got to shake your hands.
It's not like that there, right?
I agree with that from Buatsi. Buatsi said, I don't need to shake hands, we're fighting. I wish more man was like that, if I'm honest. We can shake afterwards if we must. Yeah, there's nothing to shake hands about. We can talk about it as a gentleman's game. The game's become way too gentlemanly. There's not enough dirty dogs in the field these days. There's not enough Joe Joyce versus his ex-missus in Las Vegas in the game with the old hookers, the old crusty hookers. Joe Joyce, he loved them old crusty hookers, allegedly. That's what his ex-missus says. He was tearing up the streets. Not even the streets. Joe Joyce, he wasn't on the strip in Las Vegas. He was down the back alley with the two-bit crack whores. That's what he was on, allegedly. That's what Nadeem be saying. Yeah? Joe liked them dusty. Dirty dog, Joe. You're a dirty dog. Anyway, how did I get onto that? Yeah, there's not enough dogs in the game. Ultimately, everyone's soft. Oh, I'm having a hard fight. I don't really want to fight hard. Anthony Johnston, right? Really, when you think about it, who's the pinnacle of being too gentlemanly as such, being too soft in the ring? It's Johnston. He's the headline guy for that. So, respect to Buatsi. All I'll say is, this does feel somewhat reminiscent to the Craig Richards shtick we got. Craig Richards was giving it that as well. No, I'm not shaking his hand. He's a bare knuckle. He didn't tarmac my nan's drive properly. Craig Richards was saying, I paid this guy, Willy Hutchinson, my nan paid him, 4 bags to tarmac her drive. And he did a moody job on it. That's what Craig Richards was saying. I'm going to get my get back. I'm going to punch the money back out of Willy. Oops. Yeah, like I said, Craig and Shane McGuigan all looking on the floor and shit for where his dreads went after Willy punched. But he didn't punch them off, he boxed them off. That's what we know for a fact. Willy boxed the dreads off of Craig Richards' 5-finger forehead. Yeah, Craig's dreads, listen, I've got a forefinger knocking on whatever. Craig's back here though. So he didn't really have much dreads to lose, if we're honest. Right? Geographically speaking, he didn't have the dreads to lose, but listen, man, it's the fight game, and Willy took that shit. He boxed that shit off for him. Anyway, I mean, you know what? Let's watch the rest.
Don't even forget about Swan. I'm the one who done it. And I give him the biggest hiding of his life when I was 20-year-old, 5 years ago. He's now a 31-year-old man that's had 5 or 6 lives or deaths with men. It's been through a few hard fights.
So Willy says he boxed a life off him in sparring 5 years ago when he was 20 years old. Listen, fair play to Willy, man. He wasn't supposed to do none with Craig, and he did. So we can't write him off. I think the odds are fair. Yeah, I think the odds are fair. There's really no value either way. I'd like to think Buatsi's a dead cert, but Buatsi, he hasn't done nothing that's really set the world alight yet. We'd all argue, especially versus expectations, Willy has set the world alight, right? That Craig Richards performance was never supposed to happen. What I'm trying to say is, Willy's had his coming out moment. He's beat the odds. Or he's outperformed expectation massively. When has Buatsi done that? He didn't outperform massively against Craig Richards, the exact same opponent. He didn't. I can't think of one performance against. Well, Buatsi hasn't fought a whole load of top guys, but whoever he has fought, I don't really remember him looking red hot. I haven't seen a standout. Okay, this guy can mix it with. Who is it? With Beterbiev or Bivol. Now with Yard has had them once. When Yard blew out Lyndon Arthur, for example, who Bivol couldn't stop. That was a coming out moment, potentially. When Yard went in there and had half a goal on Kovalev, right? So Yard's had them moments where, and even the Beterbiev fight, to be quite frank, even though Yard got stopped here, Yard's the first man I've seen be able to exchange with Beterbiev and hold his own to some extent. So Yard's had them. But we've never seen Buatsi in there exchanging with Beterbiev. We've never seen him in there blowing out Lyndon Arthur type caliber. So yeah, whilst Buatsi's the favourite, yeah, it's a risky one. I'm gonna tell you, man, now, it's a risky one. Yeah, Buatsi, has looked underwhelming when it's mattered. Bottom line. Craig Richards has been Craig Richards for the last 4 or 5 years, at the very least. He does the same thing. He starts slow, and then he gets a bit quicker, but it's always one. Craig Richards looks the same every time. He looked particularly bad against Willy. Is it a case he's suddenly got old overnight, or is it a case that Willy's slick? It could be. Willy's got that slick style. He's got that awkward style. So Craig Richards has looked good against conventional boxers like Buatsi or Bivol, but when you're doing all that jippo, when you're jumping around like the guy from Snatch, what was his name? When you're jumping around like Brad Pitt from Snatch, it throws you off. You can't. And Craig Richards did look like a deer in headlights. He didn't know whether he was coming or going until the last few rounds when Willy got tired. So there are questions here about Buatsi. As I'm talking about it, I don't think I'm gonna put no money on Buatsi, man. I think I'm being emotionally biased. I'd like to think Buatsi's gonna punch the head off him, but I would have liked to have thought Craig Richards was gonna punch the head off him. Anyway.
Right. I'm 25-year-old. I'm young, fresh, hungry, and ready to rock and roll. And I believe it's my time to take over.
Hello, you both had similar amounts of fights, 18 fights each, very similar looking records, I think 13 knockouts each. But do you think he's had it a little bit harder in the program?
Yeah, we're harder fights.
But with the tougher fights, does that bring experience?
It could be.
Is he the more experienced fighter?
They've all probably more experienced than me. You know what I mean? Yeah, he may be more experienced than me 100%. But it makes no difference, Carl. Do you understand what I mean? He's been in 5 or 6 lives or deaths. And there's too many. He's not 26 or 7-year-old, is he? He's 51-year-old.
Who are the 5 people then that have had life and death fights with?
I couldn't tell them, but I've seen you. You've had 5 or 6 lives or deaths. I don't even watch boxing.
You said yesterday. Oh, there we go. I don't watch boxing, but you've seen I've had 5 life for death fights. Which one is it? Do you watch boxing?
You had life and death for the last one. You had life and death with Craig Richards. You had a life and death.
You must have watched it to say that.
I didn't watch it. I just know you've had lives and deaths.
Bro, you watched it. It's nice you watched it. You watched me fight, bro. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Oh, Willy getting off on Buatsi for having life and deaths. Now, I will say, and to be fair to Buatsi, he even conceded this. Buatsi said, Willy beat Craig Richards better than I did. That's the truth. A lot of fighters don't do that. They say, oh, my arm was hurting. Oh, I broke my hand. So I respect Buatsi for that. And that tells you, we knew he was humble already, but that tells you that he ain't underestimating Willy. Yeah, I think Craig Richards, I'm not saying it would have made a difference, but I think Craig Richards, he looked at the odds and thought, this is a gimme fight. And I did as well. I thought, if I'd have been particularly gambly that day, I'd have put some coin on Richards. I think I might have even put some coin on Richards, to be quite frank. Anyway, let's have a look now. Let's address the claims. Oh yeah, life and deaths. Dan Aziz. Okay, he put Aziz down. It wasn't a close fight. Okay, we can say Buatsi won that one. Richards, there are loads of points in here. Who's his pal cat? What's his situation? He's a bum slayer, essentially. So yeah, no, I mean, they're not life and deaths, but they're underwhelming. This sums up. Aziz is tough, and he put him down, to be fair. But this cat here, he a bum slayer. Richards, Bivol didn't stop Richards. But the KO, they've disappeared now. So we're looking at can Buatsi outbox Willy. I think the back half's going to be super important. Willy's going to start fast and explosive. Not powerfully, but he's going to be twitchy. If Willy can maintain the first half cardio with the back half, it's going to be a hard night for Buatsi, I believe. That said, maybe the Craig Richards fight was just a flash in the pan. That was his peak. We don't know. But I ain't fixing to gamble on it, man. This guy blows hot and cold. Buatsi blows hot and cold. I haven't seen enough spite from him, ultimately. I haven't seen him with bad intentions in there. He reminds me of kind of like a Andre Ward pre-Kovalev 2, but then he don't have Andre Ward's skill, if that makes sense. It's kind of like he don't want to have a go. He's kind of just outboxing people, but that works until you're in there with someone who's potentially quicker than you and slicker than you. Let's see, people. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Buatsi go in there and tear his ass up. That's what I'd like to believe, but I've been scorned. Your man, the YB's a scorned woman right now when it comes to the gambling and his thoughts. I can't trust my own thinking.
You haven't been very consistent with your boxing. But none of that makes a difference anyway. Listen, we're going to get in the ring on the 21st September. I said it to you, Carl, last time, and I'm telling you now. I'm going to knock this man Spark out on the 21st September in Wembley.
Brilliant talk, man.
What do you say about that, Josh? No chance.
I'm sitting down nonchalant like you. It's talking, so it's good because more time. They're like, Buatsi, you need to talk. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna remain how I am. And if he's going to do the talking, that's good for me.
So we mentioned the records, but very similar. 18 wins, both of yous. 13 KOs, both of yous. You've got a defeat on your record. Is it fair to now at this stage to forget about that loss? Because a lot of people have the opinion it was because of the weight. He's a different fighter at light heavyweight. Is it okay to forget about that defeat now? Or is it something you'd still look at, like, look, you're a better fighter than Lennox Clark?
The guy knocked you out.
No, I said he wasn't worth a shilling like the rest of them, and I thought it was Craig Richards.
But am I looking into it? I'm like, this is the guy that's in front of me, so that's who I'm dealing with.
And it's the truth. The only real good man who I've half fought is Craig Richards, and now him. And he's an easier fight than Craig Richards, so what makes that him?
That's mad that you're saying the only good guy you fought is Spider. The guy, he knocked you out, bro. It's not like it didn't happen, man. He knocked you out.
So, Willy got knocked out, and that's the problem with these bare knuckles. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Yeah, chin is suspect, and he never had no chin like that. Tyson Fury, no chin. Billy Ho, no chin. He ain't even never fought a puncher. Carrot Top nearly punched his eye through the back of his head. Let's call it a spade, right? They're on the kind of Amir Khan, Prince Nassim kind of flex. Them man, they're chops. They're suspect. So Willy, he been clipped. And that's why Buatsi, you need to pull your finger out your backside now. This guy can't punch. Willy cannot punch, and his chin is suspect. So do not let me see you in there, like Craig. Craig looked like a deer in headlights for 8 rounds. And then even in the back half, he still couldn't get his shots off and have a go. Do not let me see Buatsi standing there like, oh, yeah, I can't really get my timing down because he's twitchy. He's going to be twitchy. Yeah? He's going to be twitchy. Expect that. Don't expect to kind of place punches. Get in there, stuck your chin in, get your hands up and get on him. Do you understand? That's how you fight twitchy. Look at what Carrot Top did to Billy Ho. He didn't stand there thinking, oh, he's fighting me, let me cack my pants and try and box with him at mid-range. Same as Johnston versus Usyk. Standing there, waiting to be second. Be first against these type of characters. You have to be first. Look at De La Hoya versus Floyd. Another great example, particularly the first half. Be first. It don't matter if you're hitting gloves and arms to start off with. Just hit something. Get on him. De La Hoya versus Floyd. Carrot Top, how he deals with people. Billy Ho, namely. Usyk, how he dealt with Fury. Fury's giving it the bare knuckle. Oops. Usyk bowls over the straight. What was he doing? I think Usyk was feinting the jab, slipped off to the right, and bosh! That left overhand came raining down on Tyson Fury big ass. His eyes was crossed, okay? That's how you deal with them. Do not let me see you in there, which is, if you've boxed before, it does have you that way. If you're a virgin boxer, like the YB for example, if someone's in there giving it it's kind of hard to get going, but you might have been doing this, right? That's your job. You're 31 years old. You've been doing this, Olympic whatever. Get on him. Or get knocked out trying is the point. Craig Richards just stood there and he was getting pinged. That's what I don't understand about these cautious boxers, yeah? Craig Richards was being cautious and he was getting lit up anyway. So you might as well have put his chin down, put his hands up, yeah, and just give Willy some work. Right? It's not like Craig was being cautious and then he weren't getting clipped. He was like this, dong, dong. Come on, people. I saw Craig Richards' dreads flying off during that fight. Don't be that guy, Buatsi. The reason I say that is because there's a chance that happens. There's a chance that happens. And again, it reminds me a bit of the parallel to make, which is almost 1-for-1. It's like when Anthony Yarde fought Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur's got that herky-jerky style. It's not as slick as a Billy Joe or a Willy potentially, but still, it's herky-jerky. And Yarde came out trying to box with Lyndon Arthur. Yeah, keep it all at mid to long range and try to outbox him. He lost. Now, we can say that there was family things going on for Yarde, which there were, but it's not the point. You don't box with a boxer. 2-2s, Yarde comes out for the rematch, and I bet on that fight at the time, and the odds were 50-50. Yarde comes out, gets straight on Lyndon Arthur, and blows his back out. Do you understand? And that's the difference there. If you box with a boxer, you're going to look bad. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to look good. If De La Hoya had to come out with Floyd here and started trying to beat him at his own game, he'd have got his head boxed off. De La Hoya came wading in, putting hands together, and Floyd looked like he was about to cry. until De La Hoya got tired. And even then, he only won a split decision. I think he lost, but still, you get the point. Even the most sublime Floyd was in his prime then. Prime Floyd. The big fight of his career. And Floyd goes life and death, split decision points. That wasn't De La Hoya's... That was pure determination. And that's all you need to beat these kind of guys. Determination and consistency. Carrot Top versus Billy Joe. Yeah? Consistency and pressure will break the pipe. Usyk versus Fury. Consistency and pressure. You don't even need to be a massive puncher. De La Hoya isn't a massive puncher. De La Hoya in that Floyd fight used volume. But Buatsi does have to... I mean, Buatsi went life and death with Craig Richards. That's a fact. He was in there making way too much hard work, being way too cautious, man. Buatsi, for what we know, has got a good chin. So he don't need to be that cautious. You will get hit in boxing. It feels to me like some boxers think that, oh, I'm going to box in such a fashion that I'll never get hit or there'll be very little chance. Well, that's all well and good. But you'll lose if you try that strategy against slippery dudes, as Craig Richards found out. So yeah, I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope Buatsi come to bring it, man. He needs to bring that bad mind energy into the ring. It's no good the bell going and you think, oh, I'm a box now like Andre Ward. And fanny about. Do you understand?
A lot of things happen.
Well, you knocked you out. Exactly, and that's what happened. He knocked you out.
And here I am, fighting you.
That's good. And that's why when Carl asked me, do I consider it, do I think about it, do I do this, I'm like, listen, this is who's in front of me. But did it happen? It did. Let's not act like it didn't happen.
And it's not like it didn't happen when I battered you in Sparring.
That's a lie. But you keep going.
You know what I mean?
You keep going.
It's not a lie because it's the truth.
Bro, listen.
I don't tell lies.
Obviously, the stories are very different.
Lies.
One of you are lying.
It doesn't make a difference anyway. It was 5 years ago.
It's crazy.
Well, that's the point.
It's
They're
5
both
years
very
ago. It's a lot of
believable.
rubbish.
It's a long
I'm just
time
saying,
ago.
I did give you a hiding.
But so this fight.
That's fine.
Not once, twice.
Well, this fight.
And the second time I had to bring his coach back at home. And he did. He did.
Hey, you're funny, bro. I'll give you that.
Did you or not? Robert
bro,
Kraken was there the first
funny.
time. The second time I had to bring his coach from back at home.
You're
And
funny.
his coach with Robert Kraken.
And Willy's saying that he beat his ass twice in sparring. I don't know if it happened or not. Simple as that.
You're funny, bro.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, bro, I have to
I'm
laugh.
extremely funny.
I have to laugh. You're a
Somebody
funny
keep
guy.
telling me.
You're a funny guy.
But I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just trying to be me. And he's an act. He's an actor.
I'll say this again, Carl. I know it's an interview, so we have to be a bit sensible in that, but I'll tell you straight, bro, there's only a few of the comments you're going to make, then I wouldn't be sitting here. Like, I wouldn't be calm
You
about
said
it.
that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
I'm trying my best to make this what it is. Listen,
Then
you've got
try
me
your best to
today
be quiet.
to make it a
Okay
thingy,
then,
so
I
I'm
tell you
trying
what
to
to
do
do.
that.
You just sit there and be quiet. I'll talk.
a bit
Carl
mad.
ask me and I'll do the things.
Bro, I'm trying. You lot are here doing your film and I'm trying, but listen.
Carl, go on.
Yeah.
Ask
Right,
me.
listen.
I'll answer
So
it.
there's been a lot's been.
So essentially, I'm going to be honest. I mean, as far as doing the humble shtick goes, Buatsi did well, but ultimately, if we're honest, who won this exchange? You know what? I'm actually leaning towards Willy did punch Buatsi up in sparring. Why? There's been no rebuttal. It could be the case that Buatsi is so transcended that he's saying, I'm not even going to entertain it. It's completely ridiculous. But what we know for a fact is they did spar. And we've heard sparring stories before, for example, Amir Khan and Kell Brook. And Amir Khan and Kell Brook went back and forth. Khan would say something and Kell would say something back about what he was doing. Buatsi hasn't really said what he was doing. He hasn't said, like, what are you talking about? Like, for example, when Bacoli was saying he knocked Joe Joyce out in sparring. Joe Joyce said, what you on about? You was bent over and was being sick in a spit bucket after I touched you to the body. Right? There's been no rebuttal from Buatsi. He's been laughing it off. He could be laughing it off because it's so juvenile. Or he's laughing it off because he's not sure what to say because he got his ass beat. I don't know. Ain't got a clue. We're fixing to find out next weekend though. That's what we're fixing to do. Anyway, like I was saying, as far as the exchange goes, Willy won this. This is 1-0 to Willy. Yeah. These situations are really easy to handle, and to be fair, Buatsi ends up making it 1-1, or maybe even 2-1, because it's after this interview, yeah, that Willy carries on with the talking, and Buatsi gets him with the and just grips up man's neck. So really, it's 2-1 to Buatsi now, because when the talking's all said and done, yeah, obviously the fight can be the fight, but when it's all said and done, people, I have my hand around your neck. Yeah, and if it weren't for all this security, Your whole life would have flashed before you there and then, Willy. Do you understand that? Let's call it a spade here. Man to man, this hand on your neck, it's one of them. No doubt. Anyway, let's watch that now before we get out of it, because it was it's a mad one. Where is it? It's dark, man, on the screen. What? That's mad. Well dark, isn't it? What is this? Can't even see what's going on.
Lads, no, calm.
It's fine here. We'll get in here.
We just gotta stand in, bro.
Yeah, go on.
No, there's no cameras on. There's nothing.
So this is where you can't even see Buatsi, man. He fresh. Listen, the reason you can't see Joshua Buatsi, man, he fresh off the boat. We can't see him. He midnight. We can't see Joshua midnight Buatsi, man. But you can just see Willy. You can just about make out Willy here getting gripped up. Buatsi got on with the hand of God. Yeah, so Buatsi pulled it back. He kept it humble. And when he saw dude, he couldn't help himself. So this bodes well. It's not like we've seen people get buoyed off and they're just sitting there cucked. Buatsi looked a bit cucked at times, but ultimately he brought it back. And he choked this dude's ass. And then this dude all bent out of shape trying to run back. So for me now, it's 2-1 Buatsi. However, like I said, this is a pre-fight build-up. Who cares? It's no good doing this when we've seen it before, to be fair. Look at Devin Haney. Devin Haney was doing the same with Lomachenko. And then in the fight, he didn't bring none of that energy. Yeah, Devin Haney was talking about, yeah. I'm up next. It's me now. It's the Devin Haney show. It's the Diddy Vin Haney show. Whoop-de-whoop. I'm too big, I'm too young, I'm too strong, I'm undisputed. And then he gets in the fight, he in the corner. Oh man, daddy. The left hand, man, oh. He's crying about he throwing it twice, daddy. He throwing it twice. Like, whoa. You soft. Do you understand? So please, Buatsi, man, you need to do I don't know what you need to do. You need to do something. And get in there, have a go. And I warn people now there's a chance Buatsi looks like Craig Richards. That is certainly possible. Because he's underwhelmed before. I haven't really seen that next gear from Buatsi. Same as Richards. He seems to have one gear. You don't see him. I think maybe even in the Craig Richards fight, people were begging for Buatsi to go through the levels. And he wouldn't do it. He just sat back. And that's worrying. Especially when you're in there with a trickster. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. No doubt about it. People, stop it.